Remember when you were a kid and you only got that one NES game every few months? You begged your parents. You stared at the box art. You imagined those epic adventures you'd have. And then you got this. No patches. No updates. Just you, a controller, and the slow realization that you had made a terrible mistake. I'm Professor Retro, and today we're cracking open the vault of NES's pain and continuing down the worst of NES games of all time. Let's start with the nuclear option, Action 52. 52 games, 0 that were finished. This wasn't a compilation, it was a mass grave of unfinished ideas. Sprites flicker, hit detection doesn't exist, and some games literally can't even be played. NES Cheetah Man came from this cartridge, a game so broken it became famous for being broken. Here's one way to think of this game. 52 games and 0 adults in the room. Action 52 isn't a compilation of games, it is a landfill of abandoned ideas and pipe dreams. It's like the devs went out for lunch and felt like they should never come back. You know the main game in this is Cheetah Man, right? Well, it is trash. Cheetah Man is unfinished, like a house without walls is unfinished. And yet, does it somehow ship on purpose? Action 52 isn't just bad, it is conceptually offensive. Ah yes, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the game that punishes you for playing correctly. You walk too fast, you lose. You jump too much, you lose. You exist, you lose. The game actually explains nothing, controls like a nightmare, and actively hates the player. It's not difficult, it's just downright mean. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde feels like it was designed by someone who resents video games. The game punishes you for being competent. Every mechanic feels like it was added out of spite. You don't lose because you're bad, you lose because the game is petty? This is the only game where winning is a mistake. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is what gaslighting looks like in 8-bit form. Hide Lied is an RPG that teaches you exactly absolutely nothing. There's no direction, no tutorial, no mercy. It is an RPG that actively resents exploration. Walking around is a mistake. Standing still is also a mistake. Every enemy feels like it was designed to waste your afternoon. This game doesn't explain itself because it has nothing worth explaining. High Dial makes grinding feel like a community service. You'll die constantly, lose all your progress, and wonder if you're doing something wrong. Spoiler? You're not. High Dial is just plain bad. Now, Friday the 13th on paper sounds like an amazing idea, but in reality, it's a confused mess. Objectives aren't clear, combat barely works, and Jason pops in like a glitchy jump scare. Half the time you're not scared, you're just plain confused. Jason isn't scary, the instructions are you don't lose to Jason, you lose to confusion. The game feels like it's missing several pages of its own rulebook. Half the horror is wondering if you're even playing the game correctly. Friday the 13th has the vibes of a group project nobody ever finished. The game doesn't explain itself, doesn't respect you, and doesn't care if you're having fun, just like Camp Crystal Lake. Now Ghostbusters, who you get a call? A printer, because you need to print the map to survive this game. Ghostbusters is slow, punishing, and absolutely refuses to tell you how anything works. Money drains constantly, movement feels like walking through syrup, and the stairway sections are pure agony. This is less Ghostbusters and more IRS Simulator. Walking in this game feels like a punishment mechanic. Money drains faster than your patience. The stairway sections are proof someone At the studio hated shoulder, who are you gonna call? Anyone but the dev team. Iconic license, unforgivable execution. Back to the Future has nothing to do with Back to the Future. You throw object at bees. You skateboard for no reason. You wander aimlessly wondering what the hell you're supposed to be doing. This game feels like it was made by someone who heard about the movie once, and only once. Nothing you do feels right, and nothing ever explains why. The plot is missing, the controls are missing, and the fun never showed up for the party. Great Scott, what am I ever doing? This is what happens when box art does all the work for you. The controls are awful, the levels make no sense, and the movie magic is completely gone for the count. Great Scott, this game is terrible. In Superman, flying should feel incredible. Instead, Superman flies like he's being controlled with one oven mitt. The screen scrolls wildly, enemies are unclear, and everything feels awkward and unfinished. From a character this powerful, the game feels shockingly weak. You play Superman, but you control like a lush shopping cart. Flying should feel powerful. This feels apologetic. Every movement feels like it's arguing with the controller. This game makes Superman feel underqualified. Lex Luthor didn't win, time constraints did. Lex Luthor really didn't need a plan. The game already defeated Superman for him. This one deserves special mention. The game is broken, straight up broken. There's a point to this game where the only way to actually progress through the game is to actually reset your console. And yet the game never tells you this. So thousands of kids thought this game was unbeatable, basically because it was. The game doesn't have puzzles, it has pranks. The solution is resetting the console. I wish I was joking. This is the only game that requires mind reading. Kids don't fail this game, the game failed reality. This isn't difficult, this is pure, unadulterated sabotage. Deadly Towers has no map, no guidance, and is brutally difficult. Deadly Towers drops you into a maze of misery and says, "Good luck, idiot." It's confusing, unfair, and feels like homework disguised as entertainment. Deadly Towers is what happens when maps are considered an optional device. Every hallway looks the same, feels the same, and ends in absolute regret. Progress feels accidental, like you tripped over the finish line. The game mistakes confusion for challenge. Deadly Towers doesn't teach, it tests your endurance. Now I know what you're going to tell me. This game is iconic. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is an iconic game, and I will give you that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is legendary, but it absolutely earned its reputation as a controller destroyer. The damn level didn't need to go that hard. Electric Seaweed ruined more childhoods than homework. This game demanded perfection from 6-year-olds of all people. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles didn't teach teamwork, it taught despair. Iconic? Yes. Forgiving? Absolutely not. And there you have it, a quick 10 games that were bad on the NES. Now look, these games weren't just bad, they were commitments. I know you paid full price, you had no alternatives, and you played them anyway because that's all you had to play at the time. Or, in my case, that's all your mom would let you rent on the weekends. And yet somehow, against all the odds, you still love the NES, right? I know I do. So, if you enjoyed reliving this trauma, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me which NES games ruined your childhood down in the comments. And next time, we're moving up a generation. We're going after the Super Nintendo, which had some absolute disasters as well. So until then, I'm Professor Roger telling you to keep your controllers plugged in, game on, and don't play any bad ones, thank you.